I am doing a PLL video. Ooh, 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 ooh. What's up, guys? My name's Angela, and I am back doing a Pretty Little Liars video. This is going to just be some things that I think are going to happen in Season 6, and some things that I have questions about and was wanting to talk about with you all lovely PLL watchers. This video was greatly inspired by the Book Balls video, which was about the night that Allison went missing. It was a complete timeline, and she did her own thoughts on it, and she raised a lot of good questions. So let's get right into this video, shall we? The first thing is she pointed out that Garrett allowed Jenna to think that Allie was dead, and later on, when Ian's at the church and she pushes him off the bell tower, he simply, is like, "What are you doing here?" Implying that he knew she was alive. So here's my question to you guys. Could Allison have been involved with the NAT club in any way? Because you have two members of it seeming to cover up for her or know more about the situation in Ian's case. Garrett was protecting her, it kind of seemed, from Jenna, and then Ian didn't really show that much surprise that she was alive. You know what I mean? He could have easily said, "Oh, I thought you were dead," or "What?" Something else other than what are you doing here? That just was something that really stood out when she pointed it out, and I was like, that is a really good find. So we all know, obviously, that Charles has been targeting Allie. Could they have been targeting the NAT club as well? Could the NAT club have stumbled across something? And could Allie have been a member? The next thing. Why were Melissa and Cece talking that night? I do believe that Melissa could have been a member of the NAT club. Was Cece there as well? Could she... I don't know. See, Cece's really hard to read. One minute I'm like, oh, she's good. And then the next I just want to take it all back. And I'm like, no, she's evil. She's working with Charles. But I'll get into a little bit more theories about Cece in just a few minutes. This is something that really stood out to me. Is why don't we see Allie and Toby talking that night? We know that she goes to meet up Toby and he gives her his sweater. So why don't we see them talking? I don't trust anything we see on the show, let alone anything we did not see for ourselves. And we have to go off the words of Allison. Really? That's who we have to trust, Allie? I think Toby knows more than he's letting on. Something happened in that scene that will help us figure everything out, and that's why we haven't seen that scene yet, which is really pissing me off because I want to know what happened. I don't believe it's just what she said happened. Okay, so we know in Season 6 we're going to be flashing, or they're going to be recreating the night that Allie went missing. And Liz from Liz Life asked me, what do I think the most important thing about that will be? What area will they, choose to focus on? And I think the most important thing about that night will be whoever hit Allie. That is going to obviously lead us to some major answers. But I also think we could get some new info in the form of a flashback, the girls remembering things that they haven't previously remembered. Because if we recall, Allie told the girls, you remember that more about that night than you think you do. All of you combined remember more about that night than you think you do. So obviously the drugs played a part and maybe wiped their memories, some of the things that happened. And if they all sat down and really thought about it, or if something happens in the dollhouse to trigger that memory, it could come back and we could get way more information than we have been getting so far about that night. What else? Why did Charles stick around to watch Mrs. De Laurentiis bury Allison? Because we hear her mutter, what have you done? What have you done? Sure, it could be to Allie, but I think Charles was standing right there watching Mrs. D bury her kid. Okay, it might not have been Charles, but I'm assuming here that whoever knocked her out was Charles. Are you guys in agreement, or do you think it was just somebody random? You know what I mean? I don't know why they would hang out. I'm really leaning toward it's Mrs. D's kid, or a really, really close connection she has with this person. Or why would her and Peter Hastings cover this up? Like, and why would Peter cover it up unless it's a kid? Which a lot of people are like, oh, Jason's twin, Jason's twin. I'm going to be pissed if they go that way. Freaking Jason's twin. It just, I don't even know. This show is so confusing, you guys. Like, it's crazy. I'm trying to remember where I am. I can't really see because my writing is really scribbly. Would Ren have been around that night? Ren is one of my main suspects. I have Ren and Ezra and a few other people in the background. But why would Ren have been around that night? Because him and Melissa weren't dating yet, were they? Because Spencer just met him in the season 1 premiere. And that was a year after Allie disappeared. So why would Ren be around that night? That is just not adding up to me. Unless he was just doing stuff already on the sneak seat, but nobody knew him in Rosewood. And when we did the flashback for the Halloween episode, like the first secret, I think it was called, when Allie was still alive, it made sure to show that Arya had bumped into Ezra, I believe, at Hollis. And, you know, he had screen time supposedly before, well, he had screen time before he met Arya. I mean, so why would they not do the same with Ren? And just, you know, randomly show him drinking at a bar or walking down the street or whatever you have. Because I think it's fishy that they did that for Ezra and they don't do the same thing for Ren. That's just what I think. Why the hell did Allie run in the first place? I don't think it was Mona, guys. Like, it's crazy. I don't see Mona being behind all of this. I thought Mona started the game when she found Allie's diary outside of Maya's house. And obviously somebody had been threatening Allie for way longer. So could Mona have really been doing it, or could it have been Charles this whole time? I personally think that Charles has been involved since day one and gave Mona the idea for the game. And she knows who it is. She can blow the roof off Rosewood. You know what I mean? Like, she can just, and everybody's secrets will just be pow. Like, Ezra, you're watching girls like a freaking creep ass. Stop. You know, get him thrown in jail for being a creep. Major. That was really random. But speaking of Ezra, oh my goodness. Speaking of Ezra. Okay. Pretty Little Gossip here on YouTube. Google it. YouTube it. Tap it up in the search bar. Has made an Ezra is a /Charles video. She said she wasn't going to do it because everybody else has done it, but she did, and I am so thankful because she pointed out some really great observations. She tried not to find the obvious that everybody has been talking about, and actually reminded me of a major, major thing working against Ezra. Do you remember, obviously do, probably, when Toby's body was discovered in the woods and it was Spencer and Mona and the corpse that had the tattoo and the helmet on, and Spencer was like an emotional wreck? And then later on, Ezra and Arya are talking about it, and there was some comment made about, you know, a tattoo or the helmet or something like that. And Arya's like, I didn't tell you, or that wasn't on the news. No, I think it was, she said that wasn't in the papers. And he said, oh, well, you probably told me. And she just like nods her head and is like, yeah, I guess I did. But she knows she didn't. So how does Ezra know that about Toby being in those woods? Unless Ezra was working with Mona, who told him, or unless he was there himself that night and set up the corpse and everything, because Mona is not strong enough to move a dead body. She had to have help. And who better to help her than a strong man like Ezra? So Liz sent me some questions today on Twitter, which was awesome. And I'm going to answer them. And yeah. Okay. Sorry, I had a fidget moment and had to turn the page real quick. She wants to know who do I think is involved and who I want to be involved. So you'll have to wait until Monday to find out who I think is involved, because I will be doing my final predictions video on Monday, so I will get it out there in the universe on who I think is involved on the A-Team or is Charles. That way I can have something to look back on and laugh when I'm horribly, horribly wrong. Who do I want to be involved? I really want Hannah to be involved. So bad. I think that would be amazing. My jaw would drop and she'd be like, yeah, bitches, what now? Or Ashley, Marin, anybody in that family. Well, not really anybody, just Hannah or Ashley. It's only the two of them. I would be devastated if Caleb was involved, though. Just devastated. But yes, Hannah, Ashley, or obviously Ezra. Is there a main target? I don't know. Because I would say Allie, but then I'm starting to think that, like, maybe something is going on with her parents, and this is Charles's revenge on the parents. But then why also target all the liars? You know, why not just go after Allie? So I have no idea who the main target could be. Is the time jump going to be good or bad? Bad. Bad, bad, bad. I'm not looking forward to it because I don't want to see Ezra and Arya together still. That's not the only reason. I really think that it's not going to be my favorite thing, but if they can pull it off, okay, kudos to them. I just think that they're going to go 4 years and be completely fine. And then something's going to have to happen to bring them all back together again. Or, you know, they're all going to have to meet up in Rosewood for one thing or another, unless they're just going to focus on a season and a half with them not together, which is not going to be the case. So I don't know. I'm kind of nervous about it, but kind of eager to see how they take it. But I also don't like it because between 6A finale, which is in August, we have to wait until January to get 6B. I don't think the writers or the producers or creator or whatever planned it out too well, because once their trump card is played, you are going to lose viewers. Granted, it might not be a lot, but you will lose viewers that just wanted to stick around and find out who Charles is and is so fed up with the show. So you have to be able to hook your viewers back in, and I just think 4 years is such a long time. Okay. Is Mona working with Charles? Yes. Yes, she is. Almost 100%. And I will talk more about that in Monday's video. What do you think of Andrew being a suspect? I think it's stupid. I wanted to freaking scream at the television when I watched the teaser clips. Oh my goodness gracious. That is just ridiculous. I was not happy. They made a point to tell about Andrew being in Boy Scouts or earning his wilderness badge or some other crap like that a couple episodes before finale. They didn't do that for no reason at all. I think he's stumbling through the woods looking for the girls and trying to figure a way out to rescue them. That's just my opinion. Why does Charles want to recreate that night? And what's the most important part? Like I already said, I think the most important part is whoever hit Allie. And maybe he's trying to save Bethany. Maybe that's why they're trying to recreate that night, you know? Like, it wouldn't work, but he could be, like, it could be a symbolic kind of thing. That's just my thoughts. Okay. And the last question is, do you think you'll be happy with season 6? No. I haven't been very happy with PLL in a little while now, and I don't know. Now that I know what I know about Charles and how everybody's saying, oh, it's been right under your nose the whole time and the identity won't surprise you, but the reason why will. And especially the possibility of Maya being alive. I would not like that. I would be so pissed. I cannot stand Maya at all. But the PLL writers could surprise me. You know what I mean? Like, if they do it really well, I think that they could pull in more viewers, because they did lose a whole bunch of people, and I don't really blame those people, even though I would never stop watching. They just need to focus on answering questions and give us the identity of Charles this half of the season, or I'm going to be pissed. I was on Twitter today, last thing really quick, and I saw one of the people I follow had quoted or retweeted something about an interview with someone, I guess, saying that Charles was a De Laurentiis and that there is a tie to him on the family tree, but Allie doesn't know about it. I don't know if this is confirmed, so if you saw the same thing, let me know, and let me know who it's confirmed by. It didn't have the little originator of the tweet, it just had the person that retweeted it and quoted it, and I was really upset because I wanted to find out who said that, but I couldn't. So, I don't know. I think that is it for this video. Let me double check and make sure. Yes, that is it for this video, so thank you so much for watching. If you've liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, subscribe to my channel, and most importantly, leave your theories down below. We only have a couple more days until season 6 starts. So that is exciting / nervousness is creeping in a bit that they'll mess up this so bad. But that's okay, I'm willing to give it a try. And stay tuned to my channel on Monday for my final thoughts on who I think Charles is. And on Tuesday, I will be back doing my recaps. Until then, see ya. Bye.